Binance launches Kaspa futures but not spot trading. The price immediately tops out and starts bleeding. A mysterious whale wallet starts aggressively buying every dip, millions of dollars flowing in while retail panics. And now, a well-known trader just connected all the dots and says the accumulation game is finally over. If he's right, we might be days away from the announcement everyone's been waiting for. This is about to get interesting. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I break down crypto market moves with actual data and zero fluff. Hit that like button right now, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications because this Kaspa situation is moving fast, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Alright, let's talk about Kaspa. For months now, the community has been asking the same question. When is Binance going to list CAS on spot? It's been listed on futures since the peak, but spot? Nothing. And that timing isn't random. According to trader Christian Ludwig, who just dropped a detailed breakdown on X, that delay tells us everything we need to know about what's really been happening behind the scenes. Ludwig isn't some random account throwing out hopium. He's been tracking wallet movements, exchange behavior, and market maker patterns all cycle long. And what he's uncovered about Kaspa is honestly one of the clearest examples I've seen of how smart money operates while retail is left wondering why the price won't move. Here's the setup. Kaspa hits its all-time high right when Binance launches CAS perpetual futures. No spot listing, just futures. And almost immediately after that launch, the price starts dumping. Classic crypto move, right? Everyone thinks the top is in, sentiment turns bearish, and the token bleeds for months. But while retail is selling and moving on to the next shiny thing, something else is happening. A massive wallet number 2 on the entire Kaspa network, starts buying, aggressively. Now here's where it gets spicy. Ludwig believes this wallet is controlled by Wintermute, one of the biggest and most sophisticated market-making firms in crypto. And the buying pattern, it's not erratic, it's not emotional, it's methodical, structured, professional. Another trader, Ski Bum Trading, pointed this out too. The wallet's activity looks way too organized to be some random whale gambling on a dip. This is institutional-level accumulation. And the timing? Chef's kiss. The wallet starts stacking right after Kaspa's peak, right after Binance lists futures. You see where this is going? Ludwig says this has been the playbook for Binance and Wintermute all cycle long. Launch futures without spot, short the futures, buy spot on the open market while the price is suppressed, accumulate quietly while everyone else is bearish. Then, once the bags are full, flip the script. That's why so many altcoins this year have had sharp rallies followed by even sharper retracements. It's not bad luck. It's not weak hands, it's smart money playing a different game. They're not trying to ride the pump, they're creating the conditions to buy lower. And according to Ludwig, Kaspa has been one of the clearest examples of this strategy in action. But here's the thing that makes this even more interesting. Kaspa was a fair launch. There was no pre-sale, no VC allocation, no free tokens handed out to insiders. That means Binance and Wintermute had to buy CAS with actual money. They spent millions accumulating this position. And now that they've done that, what's their incentive? To sit in a bear market? No. They want to make money. They want to push the price up. And that requires liquidity. That requires a spot listing. Ludwig says the accumulation phase might finally be over. And if that's true, the next logical step is a Binance spot listing. He even mentions that Binance has been working with Kaspa on wallet integration, which is usually one of the final steps before an official announcement. Once that's done, the listing could happen fast. Now, I want to add my own take here because this is important. Market makers don't accumulate for months just to let the price sit flat. That's not how they make money. They accumulate when sentiment is low and liquidity is thin. Then they create the conditions for a breakout, usually through a major catalyst like an exchange listing, and ride the momentum higher while retail FOMO kicks in. If Wintermute really has been stacking CAS for months, a Binance spot listing would be the perfect catalyst to trigger that next leg up. And the chart is starting to confirm this narrative. According to Ski Bum Trading's analysis, there have been several massive inflows into that whale wallet over the past few months. We're talking $3.8 million here, $2.4 million there, $2.1 million on another dip. Every time Kaspa pulls back, that wallet is buying. That's not panic, that's conviction. That's someone who knows exactly what they're doing and has a plan for what comes next. Kaspa is currently trading around 0.077, up over 8% this week. The chart shows a clear breakout from a long consolidation wedge. For those of you who follow technical analysis, you know what that means. Wedge breakouts after extended consolidation periods often lead to strong directional moves, and if that move is confirmed, we could be looking at the start of a new uptrend. Potentially, right before Binance drops the spot listing announcement. Ludwig ended his post with a line that really captures the whole situation. A powerful entity wanted a bear market to accumulate. Once they've accumulated, they don't want a bear market anymore. That's the psychology of smart money. They create the conditions they need, then they flip the switch. And if his theory is correct, Kaspa might be at that inflection point right now. Now, do I think a Binance listing is 100% guaranteed? No, nothing in crypto is guaranteed. But the evidence is compelling. The wallet activity is real. The timing lines up. The integration work is happening. And Binance has a history of listing tokens after their market-making partners have finished positioning. So yeah, I'd say the odds are better than they've been in months. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about what this means for Kaspa's long-term trajectory. If Binance does list KS on spot, the liquidity injection alone would be massive. Binance is still the largest exchange in the world by volume. A spot listing brings new buyers, new market makers, new trading pairs, and new visibility. For a project like Kaspa, which has been building quietly with solid fundamentals and an active community, that kind of exposure could be the unlock it needs to reach a much wider audience. And here's the thing. Kaspa isn't some vaporware token with no product. It's a proof-of-work blockchain with one of the fastest block times in the industry. It's got real tech, real miners, and a real community. But it's been flying under the radar compared to some of the more hyped projects out there. A Binance listing changes that equation entirely. From a market psychology perspective, this setup is textbook. Retail has been beaten down for months, sentiment is low, most people who were going to sell have already sold, and now, right when everyone's looking elsewhere, smart money has quietly accumulated a massive position. That's when the next move happens. Not when everyone's bullish, not when the hype is at a peak, but when the accumulation is done and the fuel is loaded for the next leg. I also want to point out that Ludwig's theory about Binance and Wintermute using the futures first strategy isn't conspiracy theory nonsense. This is a documented pattern. We've seen it play out with multiple tokens this cycle. Futures get listed first, price gets suppressed, spot follows later and the price runs. It's not a coincidence, it's a strategy. And if you're paying attention, you can position yourself ahead of these moves instead of chasing them after the fact. So, what should you do with this information? Well, I'm not here to tell you to buy or sell. That's your decision. But I am here to give you the data and the context so you can make informed choices. If you believe Ludwig's analysis holds weight, and I think it does, then Kaspa might be setting up for a significant move in the near term. But as always, do your own research, manage your risk, and don't invest more than you can afford to lose. One more thing I'll say, keep an eye on that whale wallet. If it suddenly stops buying or starts dumping, that's your signal that something's changed. Until then, the accumulation narrative stays intact. Alright everyone, that's the breakdown. Kaspa might finally be getting its Binance moment, and if the smart money has been accumulating all this time, the next few weeks could be wild. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Do you think Binance is about to list KAS? Are you already holding, or are you waiting for confirmation? Let me know. And hey, if you want more deep dives like this, check out other videos on my channel where I break down other altcoins that could explode this quarter. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you in the next video. Quick reminder before you go, this is not financial advice. Crypto is extremely volatile and risky. Always do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Stay safe out there.